The success you can't see yet and why most people quit too soon. That's what we will talk about today. You think you're failing. You think you're behind. But the truth is, you're likely closer to real success than you even realize. The only problem? You can't see it yet. And that's exactly where most people quit, 3 feet from gold without even knowing it. Today, let's pull back the curtain on what's actually happening when it feels like nothing's working, and why, if you knew what was really happening beneath the surface, you'd never even think about giving up again. Success isn't a straight road. It's not a staircase you climb where you can see every next step laid out clearly. It's more like building pressure behind a dam. For a long time it looks like nothing is happening. You push, you work, you sacrifice, and from the outside it's silent, invisible, maybe even a little humiliating. No applause, no validation, no external proof that it's worth it. And it's in that silent, invisible phase that 90% of people give up. Not because they're incapable, not because the dream was impossible, but because they mistook lack of visible results for lack of progress. Here's what most people never tell you about real success. The majority of progress happens invisibly first. When you're learning a skill, when you're building a brand, when you're establishing your reputation, or when you're trying to create a new identity for yourself, there's a long stretch where the outside world doesn't react. It's like planting seeds underground. Imagine planting an oak tree. You water it every day. You give it sunlight. You care for the soil. But for weeks, sometimes months, you see nothing. No green sprout, no shade, no sign of life. If you didn't know how nature worked, you'd assume you failed. You'd assume the seed was dead. You'd assume you wasted your time. But underground, something critical is happening. Roots are forming. The foundation is being built quietly away from your view because without strong roots, any visible success would collapse the moment it grows. Success has to be rooted before it can bloom. And, that's why most people quit too early. They think, if I can't see it, it's not working. But the truth is, if you can't see it yet, it's because it's still working beneath the surface. You know you're closer than you think when you start experiencing things that don't look like wins at first glance. You're handling situations that used to overwhelm you. You're solving problems faster than before, even if the world isn't clapping for you yet. You're thinking differently now with more strategy, more calm, and, a longer-term vision. You're starting to attract better opportunities, even if, at first, they seem small or maybe not worth it just yet. You're noticing patterns, connections, and timing that, honestly, you didn't even recognize 6 months ago. These tiny shifts feel insignificant when you're hungry for external results, but honestly, they're actually the first cracks in the dam. They are proof that pressure is building, and when the dam finally bursts, what looks like overnight success to the world will feel like the slowest, hardest, most invisible battle you ever fought to you. That's why resilience matters more than talent. It's not about who's the most gifted. It's about who can stand the longest in the silence, who can keep going without proof. Who can trust that the roots are growing even when the soil still looks empty? Before we keep going, if this is resonating so far, tap the like button. It helps more people find this message. And if you want more real, no-fluff videos like this, hit subscribe. Let's be honest, the pain of invisible progress is brutal. You start asking, Am I wasting my time? Am I even good enough? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And because humans crave visible reward, your brain starts screaming for an exit. It's not laziness, it's survival. Your nervous system is wired to seek quick feedback. When it senses danger, it tells you to react. When it feels pleasure, it urges you to repeat it. And when it feels pain, it tries to make you escape. When you don't get positive reinforcement early, your brain interprets it as a threat, and it urges you to retreat. But here's the paradox. The most meaningful successes almost always require the longest stretches of delayed validation. Let's repeat this. The most meaningful successes almost always require the longest stretches of delayed validation. The projects that change your life, the businesses that shift your future, the personal transformations that redefine who you are, they demand that you walk through months, sometimes even years, of feeling invisible. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Because when the moment finally comes, when the opportunity arrives, when the breakthrough happens, you have to be someone who's strong enough to handle it. Without that silent preparation, success would crush you the moment it appeared. That's why, honestly, some people make it and then fall apart. They didn't develop the roots while they were underground. They rushed the sprouting without strengthening the foundation. Real success doesn't just require building something impressive. It actually requires becoming someone resilient enough to carry it. So if you're in that silent phase right now, and you feel like quitting, here's what you need to know. First, trust the underground work. If you are showing up consistently, if you are practicing intelligently, if you are learning, iterating, adjusting, then you are not failing. You are building unseen roots. Second, celebrate micro-proof. Not every win will look like a big headline. Some wins are quiet. An email from someone who noticed your work. A new idea that changes your approach. A moment of discipline you wouldn't have had a year ago. These are not small things, they are evidence that the dam is weakening. Third, manage your nervous system. Understand that discomfort is not always a sign you're doing it wrong. Sometimes it's actually the exact sign you're doing it right. When you feel doubt creeping in, pause, breathe, reconnect to why you started. And yeah, remember, you planted seeds. It's not your job to dig them up every day to check if they're growing. It's your job to water them, trust them, protect them. Because success doesn't happen when you finally get noticed. It happens because you built something powerful during the times nobody was watching. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are not failing. Actually, you are building pressure. You are laying roots. You are preparing for the moment when the world will finally see what you've been crafting all along. And when it happens, yeah, it won't be a surprise, it will be inevitable. The work you are doing right now, in the quiet, is honestly the most important work of your entire journey. If this gave you something to think about, like the video so more people see it, and if you want more real, smart, no-fluff videos like this, hit subscribe. The videos on this channel are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They do not constitute medical, financial, business, legal, or lifestyle advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making changes to your health, finances, legal situation, or personal routines. Always do your own research before making monetization decisions. The views expressed are based on publicly available research and emerging technologies at the time of publication, and may change over time.